So first, let's talk about the assessment of your government as far as the damage and the lives lost in the first the air strikes conducted by Israel and now the ground invasion. Let's start from that first.
Thank you. Let me first correct something you said in your introduction, that things have gone into a rough path after October the 7th last year. Well, this is not true. Okay. Things have been on rough path since the creation of Israel and since the encroachment of Israel, this war mindset of Israeli leaders ever since its creation to expand Israel, justifying this by twisted religious doctrine. This is very dangerous. So we have been, even before long time, many years, almost 70 years before October 7th, 2023, we have seen wars and incursions and killings and war crimes by the Israeli side. Back to your question, it's about the situation on the ground, and my government assessment to this is the situation is very dire, is very bad. Okay. We are suffering heavy losses, civilian innocent souls. So far we have more than or about 2,000 innocent civilians perished, and we have about 10,000 injured. We have 1 million, almost 1 million, or even more, displaced from their homes. This puts heavy burden on Lebanon, given that the fact that we also have about 2 million Syrian refugees in Lebanon. So the situation is very bad, and this madness has to be to finish, has to stop from the Israeli side.
Okay, Ambassador, I would also like to know from you about a month back. It all started with a pager attack, when pager blasts took place in Lebanon, and more than 2,500 pager blasts, then walkie-talkie blasts, and after which Israel conducted airstrikes. Want to know from you that has your government managed to investigate the reason behind the pager attack? Who is responsible, and how did that happen?
Again, Sidanji, it's not everything started. It all started with the pagers attack. Again, it started even before. Okay. It started. I mean, it's ever there since the Israeli aggression, and which dates back to their creation, to the state creation. So
but the escalation started.
The escalation maybe started with this, and even before, but escalated within this pager. I mean, there's no doubt that the Israelis carried this act, and they maybe not directly admitted, but indirectly they did, and everyone knows that the Israeli military establishment carried out this criminal act. And by the way, it's not like it's not the advent of the Israelis. They boast about it, but it's not their advent. Actually, I read the report, and I believe that you did too. That even the American considered using this same technology or this same technique in Afghanistan, but they refrained because they were afraid that it will affect also innocent people, civilian people. Which happened in Lebanon. Not only Hezbollah operatives were killed or injured by this pagers attack. Many civilians, many nurses, many doctors, social workers, they hold. But for Israel, there's no restriction. They don't care about innocent lives. If they want to eliminate even one single operative, they don't have any problem with killing hundreds of them.
Israel never accepted what happened there, but it has been reported that those pagers were given to the Hezbollah commanders, Hezbollah leadership, and they were selectively targeted.
But I'm telling you, there are nurses and doctors and social workers, they're using pagers. Okay. So it's not true. No, not everything that Israel said we need to believe it. Israel is built on liars, on historical lies. Israel is built around terrorism, and built around twisted religious doctrine, which is very risky and very dangerous.
Okay, Ambassador, since we are talking, and would like to understand from you that I want you to define Hezbollah. What is Hezbollah? There's a lot of confusion here in India also. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Yeah. I'll tell you why. Because if we go by what U.S. State Department says, if we go by what Hezbollah, if we read about Hezbollah activities, especially, the terror-related activities, in fact, there have been, Hezbollah was also implicated in 2005 in assassinating the Prime Minister of Lebanon, if I'm not mistaken. Hezbollah has also been implicated and charged for killing many US citizens. But your government calls Hezbollah as a political party. So want to know from you that what is Hezbollah? Define Hezbollah for us.
How many figures in history were defined by some people as terrorists, and then the same person and the same entity that defined them as terrorists, they later defined them as freedom fighters? I'll give you one example in South Africa. Right, when they proscribed the National Congress as a terrorist organization, and then they become the freedom fighter by the same party. So this is not true. I mean, Hezbollah may be defined by some states or some organization as terrorist organization, but for other people they are freedom fighters. For us in Lebanon, it's very simple. Hezbollah is a Lebanese party, who is, when it comes to Lebanese domestic policy, they are involved as any other political party in Lebanon, in the political system of Lebanon. They are represented in the parliament, they are represented in the government, they are represented everywhere in the administration. When it comes to fighting Israel, they are a resistance group. I mean, it's all natural, and it's all fact of life that wherever there is occupation, there is resistance. Every international law guarantee the right of any occupied people to fight them.
But I have also read report that they are stopping Lebanon, some of the parties, so that Lebanon should not get the stable government. Is that correct?
I mean, look, I'm not hiding, and it's not secret that that there are differences between Lebanese political party themselves. I mean, there are some, because Lebanon has always been there. Lebanon is open, is a free country of freedom, opinion and speech, and freedom of organization.
Hezbollah wants larger say in the government. That's why they are blocking.
No, it's not about that. The issue is that Hezbollah is the only political party that's armed, that has a military wing. So it's not about quotas, and this has been solved by the Taif agreement, which agreed on the distribution of power, if I say, or power share among all divisions or all communities in Lebanon. But there are some differences among the role of that Hezbollah plays, maybe regionally. That's it. But this is can be solved, and is being solved by direct talking between Lebanon, the government of Lebanon and Hezbollah.
Does Iran?
But when it comes to resistance, there is a unanimous agreement among all Lebanese that Hezbollah is fighting the occupation of Israel.
But does Iran support Hezbollah both financially and militarily?
Yes. I mean,
Iran funds Hezbollah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, because Hezbollah themselves, they admit this, and it's not secret.
So Hezbollah, in a way, you're calling it a political party, but Hezbollah is a proxy of Iran also.
Siddhant, you are an adroit journalist, and I know you do your homework well, and I know you are aware of the situation in our region. When was Hezbollah created? In 1982.
Yes.
Right? Why? Because it was created only after the invasion of Israel. So it was a resistance group only because Israel occupied Lebanon and incurred into Lebanon. Hezbollah was created and started fighting Israel. Maybe if there was no Israeli occupation, there will be no Hezbollah currently. But the cause, the root cause of this problem, what we are seeing now, is the occupation, is Israel. We are here, unfortunately, my friend, we are here now. We are reached this hot spot and this really unpleasant situation because Israel was not held accountable for its all war crimes along its bloody history.
But Israel has to say that they have taken a vow to finish Hamas, Hezbollah, all the proxies of Iran, because Iran projects its power in the Middle East through these proxies. And the price that Lebanon is paying right now is because of the terror activities of Hezbollah, because when Israel was militarily engaging in Gaza, Hezbollah was firing missiles, rockets to Israel. So Israel wants to perhaps they have to say that they want to invade, they want to finish off Hezbollah completely, so that they don't regroup again against the Israel. They have killed Hassan Nasrallah, they have eliminated Hassan Nasrallah, even the other senior commanders. So I want to know, this is, I mean, as an ambassador to Lebanon, do you really feel that your country is paying a high price for because of Hezbollah? And also, what is the current situation of Hezbollah after Hassan Nasrallah? Can we see Hezbollah again coming up even more stronger, or is it completely finished over? And
too many questions. Yeah. Let me start one by one. Hamas, I will speak more about Hezbollah, but Hamas, like Hezbollah, they are not an imaginary structure. They are not like fictional structure coming to Palestine, to Gaza, or to Lebanon by parachute. They are the citizens themselves. So when we say we want to finish Hezbollah, means what? You want to kill all the Lebanese who are fighting you. No, I mean, Hamas, the war criminal Netanyahu
But all Lebanese are not Hezbollah.
No, yes, of course. When it comes to Israeli occupation, we are all Hezbollah. When it comes to Lebanese, when it comes to Lebanese politics, we have differences. I told you this. But when it comes to fighting Israel, we are all resistance group. Of course, this is our land and our border, and we have to defend it. Whether it be, and by the way, the resistance against Israel did not start with Hezbollah. It started long time ago, since the beginning of the Israeli aggression. So Hamas, even Netanyahu said, we will finish Hamas in 2 weeks, and then he said couple of months. And did he finish Hamas? He did not, and he will not, because Hamas is not like just a structure that we can kill, we can destruct this headquarters and there's no more Hamas. Hamas is the Palestinian people who, I mean, the notion of Hamas is the Palestinian people who are fighting for their freedom, for their dignity, for their land. Hezbollah is the group of Lebanese, but I mean, they have this structure that's fighting Israel, but the idea of resisting Israel, resisting the aggression of Israel, is instilled in every Lebanese mind. So this is what when I told you, when it comes to resistance, we are all Hezbollah. It means that we are against any aggression and any occupation from Israel.
Who would be the successor of Hassan Nasrallah?
I don't know, but I mean, some reports said that probably Sayyid Hashim Safiuddin is the most likely.
Because some reports are saying that.
Again, I don't know. I read like you the reports, but I don't know about his.
Okay, that's fine. Ambassador, also, you know, I have been hearing commentary being made in the Western world, and in fact in the United Nations Security Council also the other day. The Western world is talking about UN Resolution 1701. Okay, and perhaps that resolution talks about that there's not going to be any non-state actors, operating in Lebanon. It also talks about, correct me if I'm mistaken, it also talks about the buffer zone being created on the southern borders of Lebanon, so that the issue, and this was done in 2005. Now the Western world, 2006. I'm sorry. So the Western world wants Lebanon to implement 1701 UN resolution, to adhere to it, but Lebanon is not doing that. Even Israel is also saying. So what is your position on that?
Lebanon,
and they say that the entire issue is that between Israel and Lebanon.
The beginning of this last escalation of war, and even before, for ages, since the establishment, since the issuance of 1701, we've been calling for a complete implementation of 1701. I'm telling you now through your channel that yes, Lebanon is ready to implement and is calling for the full implementation, each item of 1701, literally and fully. But 1701 needs two parties for it to succeed. It needs two parties to abide by it. Israel has been violating 1701. I don't believe anything what Israel said that Hezbollah is. They have been violating our land, our airspace, our sea. I mean, the violation has been coming from Israeli side on daily basis, and there are documented complaints from Lebanon against Israel in the United Nations. Almost every week there's some complaint or more at the United Nations. So it's easy to say that Hezbollah is attacking or is, provoking Israel, which is not true. I mean, the fact on the ground, because we know that that Israel has the ability to destruct Lebanon, and we are seeing it now. So it's not in the in the interest of us to provoke a terrorist state with heavy weapons, but we have all the right to defend our land.
And is Lebanese army supporting Hezbollah?
It's not like that, no, because the resistance group, they don't call for, they don't ask for the support of a official military.
So
army.
official military is not on the borders.
They are on the border with the UNIFIL, because we have this UNIFIL, the peacekeeping forces. But I mean, it's now the situation is that there's occupation, and whenever there is occupation, there is resistance groups, whether it is Hezbollah or any other resistance groups.
Okay, okay, sir. As per your assessment, what is the ultimate goal of Israel? They have taken a vow to finish off Hezbollah. Even there are strikes conducted in Beirut. So, if you can talk to us about till what place Israeli forces have reached as far as ground invasion offensive is concerned, and what is your government's assessment?
I really don't know what's the intention of the Israeli government or army, where to go, how far they might go.
Do you have a fear of Israeli forces occupying your territory?
We always have this concern that Israel, because Israel has no restrictions. Like I said, they are backed heavily by the United States, but even United States officials said that we have no control over Netanyahu. So some opposition, Israeli oppositions, they say that Netanyahu is fleeing his hotspot position within the Israeli politics by going into war, either sometimes with Gaza, sometimes with West Bank, sometimes with Lebanon. So I don't know about this, but what we know exactly is that this war mindset of Israel has to stop, and it has no limits. Yes, we are afraid, or we are concerned that they might go further, but at the same time, we are sure of our resistance, and we are sure that they might go inside, but they will not control or occupy. Only 2 days ago, you've seen that they have been inflicted with heavy casualties. Many soldiers have been killed and injured when they tried to get incursion. I'm not saying that they cannot. They can go inside, but they cannot occupy, because this is our land, and we will resist to keep it free.
Israel also has to say that release our hostage and let's talk ceasefire.
It's not, I mean, you're talking about Hamas.
But your government can at least put pressure on Hamas.
No, I mean, this is different, of course not. But again, if we want to go to this story.
No, but Ambassador, how is it different? Because Hezbollah fires rockets on Israel when Israel invades Hamas. So it's the one axis of resistance.
Friend, yes, you're right. Let me say something. What happened on October the 7th did not start on October the 7th. Okay. So the fire of Hamas, when they fired rockets, or when they take the prisoner of wars, the captives, they were not fighting in vacuum. They were fighting for 70 years of humiliation. When I see my father and mother humiliated every day on the checkpoints, when I see my children can't go to school, they can't get the proper education, they can't go out of their home without the permission of the Israeli occupation. There is occupation. We have to keep in mind that the main problem, the main cause, the root cause of any problem there is the occupation. It's not October the 7th or firing some rockets. No, it's the occupation. If there were no occupation, why would anyone fire rockets? But because Israel has this mindset of expansion, then they have to expect people to resist, to fight for their dignity. They were dying anyway. Even before October the 7th, who was talking about two-state solution? Everybody forgot about the Palestinian, the poor Palestinians. They were dying every day. Palestinians, they were killing them. They are uprooting the trees. They demolishing their homes on daily basis. But when they revolt, when they fought for their dignity, when they tried to use some
unconventional, were targeted.
Of course, we do not support killing civilians. Of course, we condemn killing civilians everywhere. Yeah. But the Palestinians were fighting on their land. Do you know that 80% of Gaza population are displaced people from Palestine? They are displaced from the homes that they attacked on the settlement, because they are settlement. They are European settlers living on Palestinian land and in Palestinian homes. So when they attack, they didn't attack in vacuum.
Okay, Ambassador, a very, very last question. Can India contribute to the peace talks in the Middle East? Because Prime Minister Modi India is friends with both
Sure.
Iran and Israel. India has interest in the Middle East, you know, and India is good friends with Lebanon also. There's no doubt about it.
Of course.
So can India contribute to the peace talks?
Thank you for
because
this
India
good
is any which
question.
ways contributing to the peace talks in Europe. So the
Thank
war
you.
between Russia.
It's a very good question, and I seize this opportunity to present my thanks on behalf of my government, thanks to the Indian government and Indian people for their support. Yes, Indian government has been playing a very active role, peaceful role in de-escalating the situation and in finding a peaceful solution. They have good relation with Israel, like you said, and they have very good relation with Lebanon and with the Arab world in general. So they have spared no efforts since the latest escalation, and they have India and all the international community, they have been calling for the only viable and feasible and applicable solution in the Middle East, which is two-state solution. It's easy. Give the Palestinians their rights and their land and a state, viable state, and the problem is solved. There's only one party who is against all the world, You know, all the countries in the world, they are with a two-state solution. Only Israel is against this solution. And unfortunately, so far, the two-state solution does not exist. The Palestinian state does not exist because only Israel is against it. So again, I extend my government's appreciation to the government of India and the people of India for all their support and for their investment in peace.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for speaking.
I thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.